Welcome back to Great Day St. Louis, everybody. I got to tell you from the bottom of my heart, it has been inspiring to see so many people find creative ways to support our local community during this pandemic. And hey, maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'd love to lend a hand too, but I'm just not quite sure how best to do it. Well, our next guest has some great ideas. Mr. Ed Herman is one of the partners over there at Brown Crouppen, the law firm. And of course, they're doing everything they can to keep their employees safe while still working with their clients. And Ed, we talk a lot this time in the midst of this pandemic, rather, about true essentials. And I can't think of one thing that's more essential than food, right? That's a good place to start.
Right. I mean that's really what it's all about. I mean, we have to stay nourished and we have to stay healthy. And unfortunately, as you can imagine, there is a domino effect that occurs throughout all of these problems. And one of those effects is that the food pantries of St. Louis are really depleted. They need more donations because they're getting fewer donations because everybody is kind of going through a hard time right now, and at the same time, the
Right.
demand for them having food is higher. Anytime unemployment goes up, people are more likely to need the food provided by a food pantry. So they're getting hit on both sides.
Obviously, you don't even have to go as far as a food pantry potentially to find somebody in need. You can start in your own neighborhood, right? Check on some of your neighbors. A little bit of that can go a long way.
Well, that's true, and especially people who are elderly, and you know that they're not able to really get out and get to the stores. And they're also kind of the last people to ever even ask for help because they
Right.
either out of a sense of embarrassment or just that idea that, I'm older, I can survive, I'll be fine, make sure everybody else has, which I know a lot of our parents kind of take that attitude. But the reality of it is yes,
Hmm.
you should be checking on people that you know are home alone, elderly people, isolated people. Make sure that they have the food that they need. If you can get them the food, that's great. If you can have food delivered to them, that's also great. Um, but then there are ways of kind of doing little mini food drives within your community amongst your
Sure.
friends. Young people want to get involved. They don't. A lot of people want to figure out how can I help. They don't know how. A lot of them are doing some great things like sewing masks, and you see that all over the internet. And that's wonderful. But I also think that
Right.
people can figure out how to do some drives, and even asking local grocery stores, hey, you know what? Maybe you could put a couple of bins here with a sign saying, donate a little something to a food pantry. Maybe on the way in, they can say, hey, if you can afford it,
Hmm.
get a couple extra cans of soup or stew or ravioli or anything that could be hearty that's in a can, vegetables. Say, maybe buy a
Sure.
couple of extra cans and on your way out, drop them in this bin. I think of all the supermarkets, and I know they're already doing so much, and their lives have changed dramatically. But I think something like that could be easily organized and could provide
Hmm.
so much needed food right now to the pantries.
And you mentioned sewing masks too. If you really want to go outside the box, so if you have a sewing machine, if you have a computer that's sitting idle at home right now, if you have a little bit of scientific background, I'm going to link up if it's okay with you, Ed. I'll put some links that
Sure.
Brown and Crouppen provided to
Yeah.
us, where those people could get more information on how they can use their specific skill set to help. So we'll make sure that gets linked up. Ed, as always, we thank you for your
Yes.
time.
Thank you. Stay safe.
If you'd like to get in touch with Brown and Crouppen, you can give them a call anytime, 314-222-2222, or check out their website at getbc.com.